Hey guys, it's me T coming at you with a solar eclipse Feng Shui reading for this upcoming week, which I don't know what it is. I know my brother's birthday is on the 22nd, so I think today's the 21st through, damn, I didn't check, I don't know, till the end of the week, but I'll post it in the title. So I just wanted to let you know that what was I gonna say, that basically if it were to happen in the middle of this reading, oh, I love it. If it were to happen in the middle of this reading, then I'm just going to take the time out to, like, we'll see how dark it is, and if I can't see, then I will just basically pause the video, or, you know, continue the video, but also just sit in meditation and just kind of be in the receiving position for the energies. So yeah, but I'll do it until it happens. I actually don't know, I didn't like look back to see what time it was happening, so, but I want to say it's probably going to be in the middle of this, just because this is going to take a little bit. So alright, so I love you guys and thanks for sticking around. Hopefully you can also hear me. I'm going to try to yeah, I didn't bring my what was it called? Okay, yeah, I didn't bring my headphones out because I can't find them. I don't know where I put them. So we're just gonna go ahead and hopefully you can hear me. But actually I'm really excited because this is, ooh, I'm seeing a dragonfly. Hey dragonfly, love it. Thanks for coming, I love it. He's right above, and like I never get dragonflies here, so that's so interesting. I wanted to let you know that also I'm coming from where, like, my childhood home where I grew up. I'm like literally in the center of the yard I used to play in. So the reason I did that was because I was getting it as intuition, but also I just feel like it's so expansive and it's so what's it called? It's bringing in a lot of childlike energies. Maybe you can see like the dragonfly flying above. He's a big guy. Anyhow, so yeah, so let's just begin, and this way I can kind of give you the highest and best. Oh, and I have Buddha here. Isn't he so fun? He's my peace Buddha. He's way cool. I love him so much. He's the best. So he's with us right now as a Feng Shui reading. Oh, and we're using the Doreen Virtue Butterfly Oracle deck, which is the symbolism behind that is basically because there's so much transformation going on in terms of everything that it's going to be, it's freaking awesome. Like, there's just so much transformation, so hence the butterfly, hence the card deck. And yeah, I was guided to use this one too, so I'm excited. Alright, so let's get started. In this center is you are stronger than you know. Let's see what that says. Now, it's interesting because I've been getting this card a lot for myself in particular, because I think it's just kind of like pushing me to like what I really need to be doing. So, and also, you know, it's kind of showing me that the A-team is really giving us extra strength. I am so grateful for this dragonfly. Thank you, Spirit. I love it. So here's the thing, and if you hear any chiming, shit, I forgot to like I forgot to turn off the sound, so sorry for any chiming, but hopefully the most important part is that you can hear me. I don't even know if you could see me, because like it's just whatever, I don't know. If the wind blows and you get knocked over, I'll fix you too. Okay. So it says, you are stronger than you know. Challenging situations show you your inner strength, especially when you seem to have no choice but to handle the matter directly. Now, what I'm getting is we're kind of going to be in the dark, right, about something, but we have to trust the unknown, and it's going to be huge. So just like the I just read that actually from somebody, catalyst or catalytic, whatever you want to call it, energies of right now in terms of the darkness into the light. It's definitely like you're what I'm getting is you just have to trust that the unknown is going to happen, and it might seem really dark, but there's always light within the darkness. Just like the eclipse, in terms of how, you know, we may only be facing the shadow side, but just know that behind the moon, the sun is still shining. So we're really not truly in the dark about stuff, but it's just like you get to choose whether you want to see that dark side or not, which, when you look at the positive side of things, which is the lighter side and not the dark side, then you end up being truly stronger than you know. And that's basically what it is. So just stay positive even through the unknown, because that's going to be your shining light, and it's going to take you right through where you need to go. So let's continue. It says, this card is encouraging you to keep going and to call upon the deep well of strength that God has given you. And this is the truth. Like, when you are feeling that you're going through something and you don't see a light out, that's exactly who you call upon. You call upon the God. You call upon God, Creator, the universe. You call upon your angels. You call upon, you know, all of them, and just ask them for help, because that's exactly who you need to be asking help from, right? They're going to get you through it. Because sometimes down here, like in our realm, I should say, and I shouldn't say down here, I should say, because you know, we have positive deceased loved ones all around us also. So I'm going to say that in this realm of, you know, being a human being, we literally, sorry guys, I feel like I'm getting downloads in like the middle of this, and so when I pause, because, you know, usually there's supposed to be a better flow in nature, and so it's either I'm like nervous about how, like, saying the right things, or I'm actually, you know what, just to get this out of the way, I'm nervous to be outside right here, right now, like basically not hiding behind anything and just doing this as like my neighbors pass by and things like that. So like I'm kind of like more like, you know, really you're watching me expand into something that it's my uncomfortable zone, trying to make it my comfort zone. So that's exactly the process that you're seeing me like kind of take on, which is interesting, and hence why you might even, you know, feel or sense a little bit like of insecurity and like just nervousness, that like I hope everything goes well, and like, you know, that type of thing, like the perfectionistic, you know, side of me is coming out and things like that. So I just wanted, so this is me just like busting through it, and also being stronger than I know, you know what I'm saying? So that's exactly what it comes down to. So definitely call in on your, I was trying to say before, call in on all of the people that you, all of those that, you know, you would call your cabinet, you know, of people that you rely on, like that you trust and that you know are going to be real with you. That's the most important. You know, sometimes like my highest of best friends literally tell me the truth all the time, even if I don't want to hear it, and I appreciate that shit, because you know what, at the end of the day, if I don't like the truth, I know that I'm strong enough to take it, but also I'm strong enough to process it, and I'm strong enough to love them for it even more, because that's really unconditional love that they're giving me. It's basically giving me love in a different form than, you know, what you actually want. And but yet it's more valuable than what you kind of you know, expect out of people, like, you know, because sometimes we want people to be nice, and there's a way to deliver stuff, there's a way to deliver messages with kindness, but we also want the real deal, right? Because the real deal is what makes us so happy in the long run. So it's more effective, right? So God and like the angels and your deceased loved ones, they literally are your helpers. So you have to call upon them. It took me a long time to realize that too, because I found it so crazy. But I was like, after I started doing it, and I'm still like, I want to say like intermediate about it. So, you know, I have to start asking even more. But just a few days ago, I had this like release where it was about asking, because there was a whole bunch that was taught to me like growing up that, like, you know, it's a pride thing, like you don't ask people for help, you do things on your own and this and that. But then as I started growing, I realized that, you know, I'm not in this by myself. And not only that, but as a creative person who loves to collaborate and loves to play, you know, it's you need other people and other people need you. So it's like you have to be a little bit more yang and instead of yin, and thinking that you have to do everything by yourself. And you know, and just like, and ask for help. So, you know, and ask for, and it's not even asking for help, it's asking for somebody's strength that you may not have, right? So it's like more so like you could be weak in something and that's why you're asking for help. But a lot of times, which came to me this morning, is that we're scared to ask for help because of the fact that we don't want to come out of our comfort zone. In it's comfortable for us to rather side with our egos rather than coming out and saying, hey, I have a problem. Just because when you show up and you say that you have a problem about something, it's kind of like you show the world that you're unhappy or you're unbalanced or you're imperfect, and no one wants to show that aspect of themselves. But the thing is, once you come out and you say shit like what's really bothering you, what's the root essence of, you know, anything that, you know, you want to be working on or anything that you want to better, once you come out and say that, you literally, it's like you attack it right away. Like, it's like you're facing your problem and you're basically, the intention is there to solve it, to better it, right? So it happens much quicker and it's transformed very quickly. I mean, as quick as it's divinely meant to, right? So, but your whole responsibility as an independent person is to ask. Funny enough, right? Because a lot of people think that just by being independent, you have to show the world that you don't need their help. And that's literally the opposite of what I've come to learn, because I'm getting such a major headache. It's like amazing, so it's all good. But so that's what it is. It's literally you just showing the world that you need them and they need you, and it's a yin-yang effect. And the thing is, when you come out of your shell and asking for help in some sort of way, you become stronger than you know, and you literally gain this other realm of not only God and the angels, and your deceased loved ones, but you're literally asking for help from another side. So it keeps you very well balanced in terms of what it is that you're, hi Spider, in terms of what it is that you want to, you know, achieve. So it's like you're literally supported, balanced, like on both sides, yin and yang. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing. The yin is your positive deceased loved ones. The yang is the people around you that you may be kind of scared to, you know, to not show up for, but more so to ask for help and like be more, you know, out loud about it, which we don't want to. We would like to be secretive, you know. So it says, it is within you now, and you can draw it upward to serve you like a tree drinking water through its roots. While you may feel like giving up, this is a time to persevere. It's a self-test, or I like to call it a self-key, so that you can gauge how much strength you truly have. After the situation is resolved, you'll feel safer and more confident because you'll know that you can rely upon yourself. Now, it's also very interesting because sometimes we do have to go through things alone, and actually, I want to say more so many times we go through things alone. Because, you know, you have to remember at the end of the day, we're born by ourselves. I mean, there are twins out there, obviously, and all these other people, but that, you know, they obviously have a stronger connection with somebody else in this world, which is beautiful. But, you know, but even them, they're like individuals, right? Like they come out and the cords are cut. And so the cords are cut for a reason, because you're no longer, you know, tied down to these I want to say like your mom and like your the other kids that you're born with, and you know, you're not connected with them anymore in terms of like really truly like depending on them, right? So you end up relying upon yourself in this life for almost everything, and this is why you have to, it's very important that you balance it out to ask other people for help, because at the same time, you can like literally, like, I mean, this life is really, I was gonna say, you could literally lose your mind, just to finish that thought, but you could also, this life is meant to connect. Like, you will see that the people that are more connected, even through the divine, and are actually helping people in a bigger way, you know, because they've achieved a connection of sorts through people, you know, to help them. They are the happiest people. That's why they say that service makes you so happy. Like, if you're feeling, you know, depressed or whatnot, just push yourself. You are stronger than you know. And you push yourself and you go out and you literally help somebody in the community that you know might need your help. And there's always somebody that needs your help, always. So think of your strength and then go with what you think other people could use from you. So additional meanings are strength, training at the gym, asserting yourself, not backing down, fighting peacefully, which really does make sense, but it's like peacefully being assertive for your health and wellness. But at least they went in the parentheses instead of fighting. It's like peacefully. Championing a cause. So, you know, think about these things. These are things that are, you know, you are stronger than you know. There's probably something there that you've been wanting to do for a really long time that you're going to finally start doing, just because you're going to get this extra strength behind it. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be so fabulous, because there's, you know, these new energies coming in. They're really supportive in having these new beginnings. And this is why I'm so grateful, because that the solar eclipse is happening today on a Monday, because it's like double new beginnings, and it's amazing. I mean, I'm saying double because that's like logically what it is, but it's like super double beginnings. It's amazing. So the next card is, so yeah, there's going to be definitely some movement in you and I want to say it's probably going to have to do with, well, let's put it this way, solar, it's a solar eclipse, it has a lot to do with your will to do something. So you're going to see that it's going to be kind of easier for you to kind of get out there, even though you're going to have to push yourself a little bit. Definitely having to do a lot with the solar plexus, which is your will to, you know, step out of your comfort zone and do stuff that you just need to do for yourself and others. And yeah, so there is a strength there. So that's not even a surprise that it's coming up. And what's funny is that it's coming up in the center. So that means that legit the center in Feng Shui, the center map of the Bagua, is yellow, which is your health. So that's super awesome, right? It's like, so you're gonna have so much more vitality than you think, really supporting you, and it's gonna be amazing. So definitely use it to your benefit, but also to the benefit of others, because when you do that for yourself, you do it for others like automatically. It's just how it works. We're all connected. So the next card is family changes, and that is in your fame and fortune. There's a truck coming. Fame and fortune area. So let's see what that is. Okay. It says this card comes to you with the announcement of a change in your family. You need not worry about this shift, because it unfolds with divine blessings. Trust that you and your family are entirely watched over and protected by God and the angels, and this change only arises because it is the free will choice of those involved. Your role is to keep steady prayers that everyone chooses the path of God's love, then release your prayers with faith and love. If you need to take if you need to take action, God will clearly guide you and support you all the way. While change can seem threatening, in the long run, it always works out for the highest and best, and so it is with your loved ones. Truly, this change will bring you closer together and bond you in new ways. So additional meanings, it says pregnancy, birth, or adoption, a change in living situation. Divorce or separation, life transition, health concerns, marriage. It's interesting. What I'm getting here is funny enough, is like there's dogs are being adopted, or animals are being adopted. and that's going to be fame and fortune. That's going to make you feel so good. So if you're thinking about doing that, I just feel like a lot of people are going to find importance in that, because, you know, even so, that's a step towards coming out of your shell, right? Like just making new moves and bringing something new into your life that really could balance your own energy. Because sometimes, even as individuals, I was just telling my brother the other day, I was like, you either get a dog or I get a dog. Like, somebody in the house needs to be getting a dog, because I just sense that we need our energy balanced, and we also need to bring joy into our lives, right? Just like more of that. Even though it is a responsibility, it's like there is more of a benefit to having, you know, that new member of the family, rather than, you know, just living safe and just like living in a sense of not having one at all, right? Because there's so much to animals, but I'll go into that, like, you know, in a different video. But like, in terms of just touching upon it, animals are really great to have around, because it's kind of like having a plant. They end up filtering a lot of the energy for you. So they are huge, like angels, in assisting you to kind of like move through what you need to move through. So the furry baby angels, that's what I call them, is like literally, they're there to help you kind of along your path and along your journey. And it's way important. A lot of people don't like them because they're not clean, or they have to, you know, do all these things. But it's like, just get past that, because it's more beneficial for your joy rather than not having one at all. And you'll be doing everybody a benefit. You know what I'm saying? You'll be saving their lives, and they'll be saving yours. Trust me. So another thing that's coming around is very interesting. I thought of my father. So in this case, I feel like there's going to be a lot of, like, I want to say, if I can describe my father, like a lot of releasing and changes in authority. So like, growing up, my father was very much so like an authority figure to me. And he, like, so it's just funny, because it took me a really long time to gain my authority back within my own life, and still loving him for who he was, but just basically allowing myself to be my own authority in this life as I was growing, right? Because you kind of have to do that. You don't realize that you have to do that, but you do have to do that, and I've realized it. So that's why it's one of the things that I'm going to be teaching. So I want to say, definitely there's going to be something where you take it easy. You're going to have to... Oh, I thought he was leaving. So yeah, it's like one of the things that you have to do for yourself in order to gain your sense of authority back. And I think that's what's definitely going to happen to a lot of people this week coming up, where, you know, this is why you kind of need your strength to be up and at 'em, pretty much, like really awake, really cleansed. Your solar plexus is gonna be really going. So there's gonna be like a lot of stomach stuff going on. But it's needed, because you do need to make some family changes for the positive, and it's going to be needed because you're probably going to be taking back your power when it comes down to your authority figure, when it comes to your family, right? And but also, you know, gaining the authority back within yourself. So hence why we were talking about assertiveness and things like that. That truly needs to come up when you're taking back your authority. I mean, you can't do it any other way. Like, I literally, it's just one of those things that I've learned that I'm just like, wow. And it took a lot of will, let me tell you. So, excuse me, I'm like releasing for all of you. So yeah, no, it takes a lot, like, out of your stomach area to really be willing to kind of radically take that back for yourself. What else is here that I wanted to kind of touch upon? I really truly also feel like there is going to be a lot of shifts in terms of in family this week, like in terms of all of what I just said, like pregnancy, birth, adoption, you know, changes in living situation, divorce, separation. There's going to be so much change within how things are being kind of like spun. So again, that's another thing that's coming up for people, where it's like the unknown, but things are changing so much, because a lot of people, sometimes change is very scary for other people, for many people, just because they don't know what's going to come up for them, and they're scared in having to deal with it. But at the same time, it's natural, so you're gonna have to deal with it, but it doesn't all have to be bad. Again, take it from, you know, the light side of things, and you'll be fine. And you'll also be able to grab the golden nugget wisdom that comes out of it, if you are to look for it, even if you can't see it as you're going through it. Just keep praying and keep asking the universe. Say, you know, universe, thank you so much for showing me the golden nuggets that's going to come out of this really, you know, tough time for me. And it could be a tough time in all degrees. It could be something that you're like, oh, I shouldn't be complaining about this because da-da-da. Or it could be really something that you've never imagined for yourself. But even so, you have to keep praying for, you know, your family, and a lot of family healing is coming up. Before I actually put the cards down, I was getting forgiveness. So I want to say that there's probably going to be a lot of family healing in terms of a lot of family forgiveness going on this week, which does take a lot out of you in terms of, you know, with our families. It's the funniest thing. Like, we have so much ego with our families that we don't even realize, because we're so comfortable with ourselves, or with ourselves in the situation with hanging out with family, but also they're very comfortable with us. So there's like a lot of, and when you're in your comfort zone, this is our huge golden nugget. When you're in your comfort zone, your ego is so satisfied because you are not threatening it, right? So that's what I'm saying. When you get out of your comfort zone, you literally open your mind, you open your life, you expand, and your ego is like, what the fuck? And so that's what we're scared of. We're scared of more so of our ego being threatened rather than the change itself, if you want to think about it that way. And I fully believe that, because I can tell you right now, when it comes down to confrontation, which this may also be something very beneficial for you guys, when it comes down to confrontation, you literally, like, I was scared of confrontation for the longest time, because I liked for things to be peaceful and harmonious. But the thing is, I'm like sweating like crazy. But the thing is, it's okay though. I'm like shining bright under the sun. So I just have to say that, yeah, but the thing is, okay, so let me go back to what I'm saying, is that, you know, when you're confronting somebody, you're not scared of the confrontation. You're scared of having to deal with the repercussions of somebody else's ego. So in fact, you're scared of a person's ego and not so much them, right? Because if everybody was coming out of a heart-based situation, you would be unconditionally loving everybody. Like, there would actually be nothing to fear, because there would be so much love cultivated, right? So it would be like, you'd be like, okay, this person's so open. And when you're in the state of love, you're literally in your most openness, right? With discernment, I like to say. And, you know, you're literally the most in your receiving. So everything is received fine. Everything is received so openly. That's why I said, like, even with my friends, like, there's so much unconditional love there, because they could be doing whatever. We can laugh. Oh, hi, butterfly. A butterfly. So this is exciting. And a white one, too, for purity and new beginnings. And so he went right across the reading. So thank you, A-Team. What was I gonna say? So yeah, and this is why I'm like so excited about, you know, this is why I love my friends, because my friends, I'll love them unconditionally, because they always spit out the truth, but yet they're always in their heart space a lot of the time, many of the times. And if not, then I know when to like distance a little bit, because they need time. You know, sometimes, you know, my wish for the world is that everybody would just reside in their heart space. So I'm now actually putting that out there in this video, to literally, amongst everything in your life, come from your heart space. Literally make the decision to, whatever's going on, just retreat back into yourself and into your heart and being like, what's really going on here, you know? And not only that, but you get to follow your heart when you're in your heart space, and you get to be a lot stronger than you know when you're coming out of your heart space, right? So this can also be solar plexus. This can also be the heart, you know, coming together, connecting. I mean, it's beautiful. Oh, and by the way, just to show you guys, so that was this card. I have to like get with it. So that was this card, and this is that card. So again, the first card was in your health area, and the second card is in your fame and fortune when it comes down to your family. And you know, there's just so much there that I can say about family changes, because I've gone through it all these past like 3 years. Like, I have been the change for my family. Let me just tell you, they have, like, I think they had enough. And I mean, I did too, because I was like, I don't know how much further I can take this shit without them like dropping me as a human being, a part of their family. So, oh my gosh, these are such beautiful cards coming up. So in your love and relationships and your love relationships and your marriage corner is be true to you. And again, hopefully you guys can see this, because all I see is a little shadow of me. So, and I know it's probably because I'm not like in a position of sun or whatever, in the best position of sun, but I was getting to be in this position. So this is the right position. And also, not only that, but if you can't see me, it's okay, because of the fact that it doesn't have to be me that you're seeing. It has to be the words and the feeling that you're getting out of the reading, rather than looking at me, even though I'm so beautiful and I'm so stunning. Actually, let me just fix my shirt, because I feel like I'm like sweating into my shirt. Whew. All right, we're just gonna do that, because, and we're just gonna sip on here. Ooh, thank you guys for waiting. Okay, so I'm treating this as if you guys were like my BFFs, which you are. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. We're all connected. Okay, so the next one, like I said, is be true to you in your love and gratitude. Actually, I call it my love and gratitude, but when it comes to Feng Shui, it could be gratitude. Why not add gratitude? So it's love, gratitude, relationships, and marriage. So, you know, being true to you, being married to yourself. Amen to that. That's all I gotta say. And I don't mean that in a selfish way. I mean, listen, selfishness is a part of the process people don't realize. You have to be selfish for yourself, but it's self-care. So I'm going to stop saying selfish. I'm going to start saying self-care. And but it's funny, because I'm not going to stop saying selfish, because I have to use both yin and the yang when it comes down to the wording, because I feel as though sometimes the negative aspect is what we associate ourselves with, and what the positive aspect is what we need to kind of compare the negative to be more positive. Do you get what I'm saying? To see basically the difference between the two.